So today, now I'm gonna explain introduction to cloud computing. So let's get started. So our agenda is to cover introduction part of cloud computing. Then what is cloud computing and why cloud computing is used by the industry and characteristic of cloud computing. Then deployment model of cloud and cloud services model. Then advantage of cloud computing. Then disadvantage, and finally there'll be a slide of conclusion. So let's see. So I would like to introduce by a real life scenario that if you guys are now in a service desk position, so in future you will be having you will be, if you are gonna set up a company, you need a server room where you will be able to store your data. You will be managing all the storage databases and all. So if you want to set up a company, you need all these things. So rather setting up all these things, server room and all, you need storage databases. So rather setting up these things, you will just contact a cloud service provider, and mm, you will pay some amount, and you will get that services from the cloud. So cloud is nothing. It's just we get a location, remote location over the internet. That's it. So we can also say the cloud environment provides an easily accessible online portal that makes handy for the user to manage the compute, storage, network, and applications resources. So what is cloud? The cloud refers to network or internet, and it is something I told you that which is present at remote location. It can provide us services over public and private networks. So in definition part, we can understand it's cloud computing is on-demand access via internet to computing resources like applications, service, server, data storage, and all. So I would like to make you understand in a very simple language that it is a technology that uses remote servers on the internet to store, manage, and access data rather than local drives. And the data can be anything such as files and images, documents, and all. So what operations can we do using cloud computing? I would let you know the thing which we can do.
Okay,
using
sorry
cloud
to interrupt
computing
you guys. Lal. Yeah, you can continue with the presentation. Hello. Guys, I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello. You are audible, yeah.
Yes,
so
sir,
Lal,
you are audible.
Yeah, Lal, so you just continue with the presentation. Once you're done with the presentation, just let the team know if they have any doubts, they can ask you. And then if not, you can end and Siddharth will start. Okay. After
Yes, sir,
Siddharth,
yes, sir.
Yeah, after I'm partially working on something else also, so
Yes,
I might not respond. But yeah, after you're done, Siddharth will start. Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And yeah, I will be here
So let's
monitoring.
continue.
But yeah. Okay.
So what are the operations which we can do using cloud computing? Developing new applications and services. We can have storage and backups and recovery of data. We can host our websites using the service of cloud, and we can have delivery of softwares on demand, analysis of data, and we can stream videos, audios, and all. So these kind of stuffs we can do using cloud computing. So yeah, let's. Do you have any questions? Okay. So we can understand through the pictures which you are looking at your screen right now that we can access cloud anywhere around the globe, from phone, tablets, laptops, desktops. We can have multiple services, like we can have software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Everything will be discussed in our next slide. So yeah, have patience. So yeah, let's go to the next slide. So hyperscaler, the largest cloud service provider with data center that enables massive scaling, are called hyperscaler. hyperscalers. So the big four hyperscalers, which are Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services, and Alibaba Cloud and Google Cloud. There are top clouds which are Microsoft and all, and other some are IBM cloud provider, and Oracle also provides Salesforce. These are some cloud provider. So this one questions why we use cloud computing. I would like to make you understand with a scenario that you can understand very easily, that because every organization, whether they are small or big organization, big IT companies, follow the traditional method to provide the IT infrastructure. It means for any IT companies, we need a server room. That is basic need of IT company. So in that server room, there are databases, mail server, networking, firewalls, router modem, and you need network connectivity, high net speeds, and all everything will be managed by you have to have a maintenance engineer there who will be taking care of the server room. So if we want to establish such kind of infrastructure, we need to spend a lot of money. And that's why, to overcome all these problems and to reduce that infrastructure cost and all, so where cloud computing comes into existence, and you just buy remote locations by a cloud service provider. So you don't have to invest a lot of money to set up a server and infrastructure, server room, all database, hard drives. You don't have to waste your money, and you just get a location over the internet and you start your business. That's it. So you will be getting flexibility on cloud computing, data recovery. Actually, once data is stored in cloud, whenever you want, you can recover. Actually, and no maintenance, because when you are not setting up at your home or premises, then there's no need of update of software, no need of maintenance. There will be no maintenance engineer there, so no need to maintenance, and easy access. You can access anywhere around the globe anytime, so access is very easy. We'll be getting increased security as well. So yeah, before cloud computing, how a company looks like is on the left side of my screen. You guys would be able to see that how it looks when you don't have a cloud service. You have to set up all the database server, modem, networking devices, and all. Everything will be there at your organization, and how it looks like. But after switching to the clouds, how it looks like, it is databases and servers and computer on your network. Everything will be on cloud, and everything will be managed by your cloud service provider. So you don't have to think anything. You just have to open your browser, and you just have to access. That's it. You don't have to think a maintenance part and all. So yeah, how it looks. So let's move on to the next slide. So what are characteristic of cloud computing? There are 5 characteristics which you are looking at your screen, which are defined by the National Institute of Standard and Technology, which are, the first one is internet access. And actually it is cloud computing is completely web-based, and it can be accessed from anywhere around the globe at any times. That's why one characteristic is that internet access is very and the second one is measured services. Measured services mean to say that we only pay for what we use. We don't pay for what we don't use. We only pay for what we use. So it's like how a utility company meters how much water or electricity is used, and charges based on consumption. So the cloud is very same. We only pay for what we use. And the third one is on-demand self-service. Cloud computing allows the user to use web services and resources on demand. One can log on to a website at any time and just use them. That's it. And the fourth one is rapid elasticity. Rapid elasticity, it means it is cloud platforms are elastic, mean to say that an organization can scale its resources, uses level ups or down as per business requirements. So, I would let you understand with an example that uh, uh, if what happens if for example, there's a festival and Amazon has a discount of 50 or 60%, then what will happen there that if normal, login were happening 1 lakh user per day, every day. So what will happen at that this moment of discount that the user will be 1 crore and they need more resources. So what will happen when you will be using cloud services? You can scale up or down on the basis of your requirements. So this is one of the characteristic of cloud computing. You don't have to think your resources that you have to increase your storage and all these things. So this is one of the important characteristic. And the fifth one is resource pooling. It means cloud often uses multi-tenancy models. That means a single application is set to among several users. So rather than creating a copy of the applications for each user, several user can configure the applications to their specific needs. And also, these were some characteristics of cloud computing. So do you guys have any questions? If is there any questions?
Lal,
Yeah, sure.
uh,
Hello. Yeah, I'm
is
audible.
there any data limit for cloud storage?
No. Data limit mean to say that if you wanna scale up or how much storage you want, you just have to let them know, mean your cloud service provider, and you can scale up. That's it. You don't have to think that I have to set up storage and all. You will be getting all in cloud. You don't have to think. Everything will be done, and you can have more space and all. So yeah, is it clear?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
So let's move on to the next slide. That cloud deployment model. It means a cloud deployments mean it defines the type of access to the cloud, how we access to the cloud, and how cloud is located. Cloud can have 4 types of access. First one is public, second one is private, hybrid, and community cloud. So let's understand what is public clouds and how we access publicly. So public cloud allows services to be easily accessible to the general public. Anyone can access this, and it is because of this openness, it is less secure. And this is most a common type of cloud computing deployments. The resources like server, storage are managed by third-party cloud service provider and delivered over internet. And one thing, in public cloud, all hardware and software and other supporting infrastructure are managed by cloud service provider. And the one example of public cloud service provider are Microsoft Azure. And in public cloud, we share the same hardware, storage, and network devices with other organization, and we can access service and we access service and manage our accounts using a web browser. And public cloud deployments are used to provide web-based email, online offices, applications, storage, and all. So this is one of the difference between private. I will let you know what is the difference. So let's understand what is private clouds. It allows us services to be accessible within an organization. If we have an organization, we want to secure our data and all, so we have to have access of private clouds so that our data will be secured, no other can access. So it consists of cloud computing resources used inclusively by one organizations. and private clouds can be physically located at our organization on-site data center, or it can be hosted by our service provider. But in private cloud, what happens, the services and infrastructure are always maintained on a private networks. It's not maintained on a public networks, and the hardware and the software are dedicated to solely to your organization. And in this way, the difference that I was talking about is that private cloud can make it easier for an organization to customize its resources to meet specific IT requirements. And what happens is that in private cloud, the company don't share the same hardware as it was used to be in public cloud. So the hardware, all these things are separated from a public cloud user. So this is one difference between public and private clouds. So hope you guys understand. The third one is hybrid cloud. What is hybrid clouds? It's combination of public and private. Some organizations use both. So this is hybrid cloud. And community, its services to be accessible by, if there are businesses or organization whose business intention is same, then to use community clouds. So this is community clouds. So let's move on to the next slide. A difference between clouds, the public cloud computing infrastructure. It is accessible by public. It is accessible within an organization, and actually it is openness. That's why it is cheaper than public is cheaper than private clouds, and because of its secure, private clouds is costlier than. So example, as I told you, Amazon, AWS is, and Google, these are providers, and Microsoft, KVM, HP, these are some public provider. So now let's come into the most important part of cloud computing service, which they provide, which actually it is known for. One definition you guys have heard of, which is cloud services. Cloud computing is service of cloud computing is delivery of services over the internet. So what kind of services we get from cloud? I would like to clarify in this slide that we get three services from the clouds. First one is software as a service. Second one is platform as a service. The third one is infrastructure as a service. So I would like to make you understand with a real life scenario that will be easy to understand. First, understand software as a service. What services we get from the cloud? So for example, if one wants to set up a textile shop, and he wants to reach to the world, he wants to get order from the corner of the world. So what he will be doing, there'll be a platform. He has to make an websites, and he has to publish, and people will be able to reach to the shop, and they can make orders and all. So one thing is that if the person whose textile shop is, if he doesn't know anything about websites and all, how to do that, so what he will do is that he will just contact a cloud service provider, and what happened that cloud, he will pay some amount, and there will be everything provided by cloud service. Mean you need software, so everything will be done. They will develop, they will manage, they will update. Everything will be done by cloud service provider, and they will give you the software, which you just have to access. Your user will access, and they'll make the order, all these things. So you guys have done while we were making our account, we guys have used a software which was Workday. It's a best example I can do you guys, that it was an example of software as a service. So this is an example. So when it comes to definition part, I would let you know what is So it is a service delivery model of cloud computing, and instead of installing an application on our devices, SaaS applications are hosted on cloud servers, and we or user access them over the internet. And I try to make you understand with one more example, if it will be more easy. SaaS is like renting a house. Here, the house is nothing but software or applications, and the landlord maintains the house. Here, the landlord is cloud service provider, but the tenant user most gets to use in as if they owned it. So it was an example of uh, SaaS, software as a service. SaaS applications include, Salesforce, Workday, Gmail, Office 365 are some SaaS applications. Let's move on to the next, platform as a service. So the platform as a service, this is, delivery model of PaaS is similar to SaaS, except instead of delivering the software internet, PaaS provides a platform for software creations. The platform is delivered via web, giving developers the freedom to concentrate on, building the softwares without having to worry of operating system and all. I would let you understand more, by next slide, that what happens in platform as a service. We get everything from the cloud service provider except data and applications. If we get operating system, virtualization, servers, everything will get from the cloud service provider, but we have developer and all, so we can develop the applications. For example, I would like to understand you with the same example which I've given you now is, if one has textile shop and he has developer and he has of course data he has, so what he will be doing is that he will develop the application but need a platform to develop the application. He needs soft operating systems, he need storage to server to host, he need storage. So these kind of things, application he will be getting from cloud, but he will develop by himself. So that is platform as a service, which is provided by cloud server, which is second one. And the third one is infrastructure as a service. In this model, what happens is that a company rents the server and storage they need from a cloud provider. Then they use that cloud's infrastructure to build their applications. For example, I would let you understand from example as well, that in this what happen is that you what happen when you have developer, you have operating systems, all those things you have, but you have made your websites, but now you have to host somewhere, right? So you will be getting server, storage and all. So this is infrastructure as a service. I would like to explain it more easy by giving an example. So infrastructure as a service is like a company leasing a plot of land on which they can build whatever they want. But they need to provide their own building equipments. Means he'll be giving data and operating system. He'll be everything, but they can build whatever they want. So this is an example of infrastructure as a service. And infrastructure as a service includes DigitalOcean, Google Compute Engine, and OpenStack. These were three important services which we get from cloud service provider. So is there any questions, guys? Hope you understand. Let me know so that I would move on to the next slide.
Yes.
Hello. Is there any questions?
No questions.
Okay, thanks. So let's move on to the next slide, which are advantages of cloud computing. So advantages, the first one is backup and restore. The advantage is that we don't have to think of our data, that our computer what happened when we have set up our server room. We have to think of when we it get fired, then what will happen? Our data will get lost. But you don't have to think of data, because once data is stored on server, they have multiple copy of your data, they have multiple data centers. So if their one data centers got fired, then you don't have to think, because they have multiple. So we can have backup, we can restore data whenever you want. So this is the second one, is excellent accessibility. Mean to say that you can have access anywhere around the globe. So whenever you want, you can access. This is what excellent accessibility it has. And the third one is low maintenance cost. I mean, cloud computing reduces both hardware and software maintenance costs. So our organization doesn't need to maintain. That's why it has low maintenance cost. The third one is unlimited storage capacity. It offers us a huge amount of storing capacity for storing our important data, such as documents and image and all, so we don't have to think of. And the fifth one is mobility. Actually, cloud computing allows us to easily access all cloud data via mobile, so it is a mobility a facility over there. And the next one is data security. Actually, data security is one of the biggest, advantage of cloud computing, and cloud offers many advanced features related to security and ensure that data is securely stored and handled. So you don't have to think. This is one of the advantage. And the next one is scalability, which I've given you example. That was an characteristic of cloud computing, which was, whenever your business requirements needs it, you can scale up or down on the basis of your requirements. So this is scalability. These were some advantage of cloud computing. So let's move on to the next slide. These were also the pictorial I've just taken to show you the advantage and all. So yeah. Now let's understand the disadvantage which we have of cloud computing. The first one is internet connectivity. In cloud computing, every data or audio are stored in on cloud, and we only can access data through cloud by using internet connection. So if you don't have internet connection, and then you can't access. So we don't have any alternate option of using cloud without an internet connection. So yeah, this is one of the disadvantage. The second one, which is biggest disadvantage, I would say, vendor lock. Because organization may face problems when transferring their services from one vendor to another, or a vendor in the sense when one service provider to other, because as different cloud service provider has different platforms, so it may be a difficulty while moving from one cloud to another. So it's the biggest disadvantage. The third one is security as well. Although cloud service provider implement the best security standards to store important information, but before adopting cloud technology, you should be aware that you will be sending all your organization sensitive information to a third party, that is a cloud computing service provider. And while sending a data on the cloud, there may be a chance of your organization's information is hacked by hackers. So yeah, this is one of disadvantages as well. And the next one is limited control. Cloud infrastructure is completely owned and managed by your service provider. That's why cloud users have less control over their of functions and execution of services within cloud infrastructure. So it is also a disadvantage of the cloud computing. So these were, because of internet connectivity, if you don't have that connectivity of internet, then you can face the problems while accessing your cloud. So this is also a disadvantage. So let's move on to the next slide. Yeah, and finally, its conclusion, I could say that cloud computing is essentially a new technological development, and that has the potential to have a great impact on the world. And I guess 90% of the corporate company has switched to cloud. So it's a new technology, and it has many benefits that it provides to its user and business. So yeah, that's all, I guess. So guys, do you have any questions? Guys, do you have any questions? Please let me know so that. Am I
Does
audible?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah,
Does
sure.
cloud security
Go ahead.
does
Sorry?
cloud security provide you high quality protection and all? Is there any breach in that?
Security, yeah, definitely they provide security, but what happened? You are providing your all the information to the third party organization. So definitely it has a strong security, but you are providing your all information to third party organization. And definitely there are some rules and regulations of security, but yeah, you are providing your information to third party, so you have to think of that you are providing to a third party organization your information or data. But definitely it has a strong security. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Is it clear, Sahil? Most welcome.
Yeah, it's
Is
clear.
there any questions?
No.
Okay.
Not
Is
for
there
me.
any questions, guys? Okay. Is there any questions? If you don't have, then out. Yeah. So Sahil, I guess no questions. Yes, no, please.
No.
Okay, thanks. So thank you. That's all.
Everyone, big round of applause for Lal Mohammad.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Siddharth, I guess you should